Yo, what's up guys? It's Yellowfin and the brand new Japan Pro Tour update is out. So, this is actually a very cool one. I have looked at it a bit, so I kind of know what it's about, but I haven't looked at everything specifically, and I'm going to show you guys all the cool stuff that I've found basically. So it's basically my reaction to the new update and also my thoughts about the new update and how I feel about it. So, I actually like this update a lot, and let's just hop right into it. So, first off, I have the new Nissan GTR. It's not a new update car, but it does have the new Summer Games tag, which you might not know of yet. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But yeah, so Summer Games is a new tag, which also includes my Max 911 GT2 RS. And then if you go to all cars, it does also, it's 150 cars, and it's got a couple of interesting ones. So that's pretty cool, but yeah, I'm not going to cover that too long. Also, this is basically what I've collected so far from one pack, basically, of Japan Pro Tour, plus also prize boards. Is I have an almost max Nissan Cedric, just need the final fuse to end. I also got the Suzuki Swift Sport Hybrid, which is a pretty interesting one. Suzuki Swift Sport, which I'm not actually sure if I'll max it or not. Then the Legacy Outback, which I will definitely max. And then for changes to the garage that has happened, a couple of RQ changes, that's basically it. And there's been also a couple of picture changes. This guy's also 64 RQ now, which is pretty interesting, and the sensitive slider has returned. And this one also, 4095, pretty nice. Nissan GTR got a big buff as well. That one's basically 2-starred, I just need to put the upgrades into that. But I'll do that after my big pack opening I'm going to do soon, which will probably come out sometime, I'm not too sure. Also whenever the deals come out as well. And then some other cool noticeable stuff is right here. Datsun got a nerf, but also a buff. It's medium ground clearance now, had a top speed nerf and handling nerf, but I mean, I don't know, it's sort of just like a generic rally car. Well, it's still a strong rally car, but it's more on the generic side because it doesn't have 89 handling and really good top speed, but still, it's not a bad car. Another cool thing is the Nissan 350Z got a picture change, and I now just noticed my E320 actually got a +2 handling buff, so that's a pretty nice thing too. And then a couple of other interesting things that are very noticeable that I think you guys should know. Right here, Subaru Levorg, now 4-wheel drive standard tires, which is pretty interesting. It is now an insanely good standard tire car though, so really, I'm not really too upset with that. Now it's basically I went from a really good all-surface tire car to now a really good standard tire car, so still it's basically a keeper in my books. Also, it got a 0 to 60 buff as well, so now it's at 6.8 maxed. And another interesting thing, which happened to a car that I have maxed, but not many other people have maxed, is the Subaru Forester is now 4-wheel drive all-surface tires. So, 7780, 80 handling is actually pretty strong for a 4-wheel drive all-surface tire car. So, same with this, I'm not really too upset. Just went from a really good 4-wheel drive standard tire car to now a pretty solid also 4-wheel drive all-surface tire car. So, also pretty happy with that. Same thing goes for the Subaru XT. It actually had a 0 to 60 buff. It went from 7.1 or 7.0 to 6.9, so that's pretty cool as well. And yeah, that's basically it. Oh, also the Nissan, well, you saw it for a split second. Let me see if I can go back to it. The Nissan 200SX also got a picture change. So that's basically all the pretty cool, noticeable high-end stuff. But now let's get into the update, actually. So, new cars. We got over here Infiniti. So, Infiniti looking pretty strong right now. We've got 38 cars, and there's my G35. But we've got a lot of new additions, plus this prize car, which is a pretty interesting one. 3785, which doesn't look like too great of stats. Then you see it's medium ground clearance. But for 91 RQ, it does have the 4-wheel drive, but you think it might have a bit of really good MRA. Because 3785 is not that great of stats. This guy is 3986. And it is low, but it doesn't have 4-wheel drive, but still, that's a big RQ gap for this guy. So I feel like it'll probably have very strong MRA. Then also we got a new prize car, the FX Vettel Edition S51. They also changed this car is only available by winning certain events too, so that's different. They also changed the picture for the Q60, so it's got a new picture now. And they have a lot of really nice photos, like the Emerge E, even though placement isn't too great. Same, placement has always been a bit of an issue for Hutch, but I mean, it doesn't really matter for them. They're not really the let's compete with our custom cards to see who can make the coolest one. They're just, we're going to deliver the cards, you guys open the packs. But there is a lot of high quality photos that I really like. So I think they did a pretty solid job with that. Like, there's a lot of high quality stuff like this one, even this one also. This one as well. Wow, that one's got a lot of different color contrast. Same with the Q60. Is that actually the same photo? Wait, that one's blue. And that one's blue. They got the bushes behind. I'm pretty sure they just used the same photo. Wait, OY66, OYZ. OI66 OIZ. Yep, they definitely used the same photo, because that's the license plate that I just read. If you didn't catch that, they used the same photo for the Q60. Excuse me. Yeah, so that's actually pretty funny. And then we also got some nice low-end stuff as well, with like the M30, and one of the cars that I really want to get, the Infiniti i30, which I'll cover in my next video coming out, which will be my top 10 most wanted cars from this new update. So, that's basically it for Infiniti. Pretty solid little addition to a brand that basically had nothing, so I'd say they did good. Now, another thing is Nissan right here. Also got a new logo, and my new addition, the Nissan GTR, right there up at the front, but it's now not like the number one, I guess, behind the GTR Nismo, but it's now not the number two. There is a lot of cool stuff added to Nissan, like this 97 handling beast, the GTR Motul Attack, or the GTR LM Nismo, or the R85V, plus a lot of other great stuff like this, the only 60s legendary, the R381, and then also another cool one that I bet a lot of JDM fanboys are happy with, the Skyline GTR Calisonic Group A R32. So that's also a very nice one as well. I'm actually pretty happy seeing that one come into the game, but it's a prize car, so I probably won't get it. This one's also a pretty cool one too, the Skyline GTR Nismo Z-Tune. And then there's lots of motorsport cars as well, which is what I was really hoping for, like this one, a very noticeable four-wheel drive off-road tires, 6.275. It does have medium ground clearance, but that'll be a pretty interesting one to see actually how well it will perform in events, because I mean, those are just some pretty interesting stats. Then we got some more run-of-the-mill epics like the SEMA, and then also right here, another non-prize car, motorsport car, which are always very interesting to see. 90 handling, so I'll probably get up to 100 handling max, plus pretty solid 0 to 60. That one will also be a pretty nice one to have, and if I do pull it, I will definitely keep it. Here's a BTCC car, which are also pretty cool to have in the game, and then a race car. It says race car on it, so it is a race car. Plus the Leaf Nismo RC, which has 3.20 to 60, which is pretty insane. And then scrolling down a bit more, we've got some couple noticeable ones like the 370Z Nismo. This one, the Skyline GTR, which has 87 handling, but is a prize car. 87 handling stock though. And this one I really want, the Silvia 200 SX Group A S12. Because it's a rally car, and I like rally cars, so yeah, I basically just want it. It's perfect for me. And then the Xterra Off-Road, four-wheel drive off-road tires, so also a pretty interesting one to see how it'll perform. Another 370Z Nismo, some more other cool stuff. Any of the lower tier stuff, I know some of these brands have some really interesting lower tier stuff. Here, the Cherry Coupe X1 slick tires car, also the Frontier Attack four-wheel drive off-road tires. Then another interesting one, Super Rare, oops, that's the Juke. Super Rare prize car, the Violet Rally car, and then also right here, the Toronto Rally car isn't prize car, but four-wheel drive off-road tires. Also be a pretty interesting one, because 68 handling for four-wheel drive off-road tires is actually pretty solid. Then we also got some Silvias, also another car I really want, which you'll see on my top 10 cars I want from this update, the Silvia Spec R S15, very nice car as well. And lots of other cool stuff as well. This one is a definite keeper. 10.6, 64, rear wheel, oh actually it's rear wheel drive, never mind, I don't remember seeing rear wheel drive, but off-road tires still, it'll probably be a nice keeper because it's a rally car, very low RQ as well, so it might actually be pretty solid to the off-road meta. It's also very light, so it'll actually have to see. I thought it might have been four-wheel drive, but it isn't, it's rear wheel drive, but still, I feel like it might be a pretty solid car, so we might want to see how this one performs and want to keep it in mind. Another interesting one, I think it's a Nissan, is the lowest RQ slick tire car right here, the Nissan Prince Gloria Super 6. Car from the 60s, and it's got slick tires, which you can kind of see from that photo right there. Those tires have no tread on them. So that'll be a pretty interesting one to see as well. Plus, then we also got some 260Zs, we got a bunch of Zs, different ones. So those also be pretty cool to collect as well. So that's basically it for Nissan then. Well, it's not basically it, there's still a lot of stuff, but I don't want to have this video be like 2 hours long, because I could totally make a video that's 2 hours long on everything in depth of this update. but I do not have the storage space for that. So on to Subaru now, and this is basically what made the update for me. I am a very big Impreza fan. It's been basically my first ever dream car. I still want it. I totally have it as a daily driver. It's basically like one of my favorite cars, along with like the Escort and the Toyota 4Runner. So it's like one of my biggest favorite cars, and they added the heck out of it. There are so many different Imprezas that I want to collect. I literally will collect every single one of them. I am not fusing any of them. I'm going to max all of them out if I get one. So any Impreza that I get, or basically any also Legacy X STI that I get, which is basically just a Subaru. Well, I'm not going to say it's a Subaru Impreza, just with a different name, but that's sort of what it is like to me. A Legacy STI is just a Subaru Impreza to me with a different name. So I'm basically going to keep all the Legacy STIs that I get as well, because they're also pretty cool. But like this one right here, the Impreza WRX is one I really want. That's a pretty cool one. Basically every Impreza WRX I really want. So there's a lot of cool stuff, plus a good amount of off-road meta. And then this thing, I'm not really sure if it's intended, but there's two Tribecas. They have the same photo, but it's a different photo from the one shown. They have different stats, so yeah, that might be sort of like an Infinity thing that I was talking about earlier. Then this one is also a very interesting car, the Legacy B4 RS30BE, which has 7.181, but then the 4-wheel drive plus the medium ground clearance. It'll reach 90 handle lengths. That'll actually be a pretty interesting one to have. Also, that one's pretty cool as well. But yeah, so there's a lot of interesting stuff too. BRZ TS, looking next to the other BRZ, it has 6 more handle lengths, so that's a pretty cool one as well. I've said as well a lot, but I mean, I don't know. Don't really know any more conjunction words. I don't think it's a conjunction word. Transition words, that's what it is. Maybe. I don't know, but yeah. Subaru, a lot of Imprezas, really cool, really happy with that. Plus, we got the Rally Impreza as well in the game. And also this one, the Legacy B4 GT300, a pretty also interesting one as well. So that'll be an interesting one to maybe unpack. Maybe not, I don't know, who knows? Maybe, we'll have to see how the luck gives us. And then Suzuki, another brand that basically had nothing, and now has turned into something. So these two are very interesting, the Hayabusa Sport Prototype and the GSX R4, because they are insanely light. So the real interesting thing is, do they have crappy MRA or not? Because if they have good MRA, they can be a pretty good car, but it could be like a Nazca type thing, where they're very light and have 0 MRA. So we'll just have to wait for someone to unpack one and do the MRA testing on that, so that'll be interesting to see. Also another prize car, the Escudo Pikes Peak. Another great one to go along with the Suzuki Pikes Peak. And then this one too, the Suzuki C2. Also a very light car, so pretty interesting stats as well along with that guy. Plus a very low 0 to 60 of 4.1. So that'll be a pretty interesting one to see tested on stuff that's like, what's the word? Grippy, or very weight something. Very relies a lot on having a low weight. I can't think of the word right now. And then this one also is a pretty interesting one, the Suzuki Ignis Super 1600, a medium ground clearance slick tire car. So that'll be a pretty interesting one to see too, how useful it is. And then a mistake, the Suzuki Ignis, and I'm pretty sure that ain't a Suzuki Ignis, but oh well, I mean, sometimes you're gonna mess things up. And then they added the Jimny too, which is also a pretty fun one to add to the game. So we got a couple of Jimnys to collect, and a bunch of other stuff. A lot of these low RQ Suzukis too, you should look out for, because I know this one, the Suzuki Carry, is a hill climb beast. Like, for being a common, it is insanely good at the hill climb, so you should definitely keep it if you get it. And also just look out for all these low RQ Suzukis that have high handling. Like this one's 76. That's pretty solid for a common, 76 handling. 75 right here on that one. We got 79, the Suzuki Kara. 75, so just look out for any of these ones that have a very noticeably high handling, because they'll probably be a pretty solid one to keep. And so, yeah. What was I saying? Oh, well yeah, I saw this and I saw that was a Suzuki Ignis Sport, but then that year is also 2004, and this is a 2016, and I don't think they had it looking like this in 2016. So I kind of caught myself in my words, and then I realized, no, I was correct originally. So let's now do my final verdict. So, what would I rate this update? I would rate it a 10 out of 10. However, it took forever, so I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Sorry, Hutch, but I do think you did a very good job at creating an update. I really like this one. It gave a very large amount of cars with a lot of variety, as I will show quickly right here. 233 cars with a lot all over the board. So a lot of high-end that you want to collect, plus not a very lacking amount of low-end. You got a bunch of low-end stuff too that's easy for easier players to collect as well, or just adding a lot of different stuff that you might want to collect as lower-end cars. So, and also a decent amount of legendaries. Like 16 legendaries is pretty nice. That's like a good amount of legendaries added to an update where not everyone has the same update. I mean, same legendaries. Like with American Frontier, it was basically you pulled the legendary, but then you needed to have some upgrades into it because everyone has that legendary. That's why everyone maxed the DNX, even though it is a good car, but it's not like oh my gosh, I pulled this, I need to max it immediately. It's like it's a good low RQ one, sort of like my 911 GT2 RS, but basically everyone had it, so then everyone did max it out then. That's why you see so many of them. But yeah, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. 16 legendaries is a pretty solid amount, plus a lot of stuff all over the spectrum, with motorsport, with four-wheel drive stuff, with rally cars, and with lower RQ stuff too. It's basically all around the board, nothing just too overpowered. And so that's why I'm giving it that 9 out of 10. And yeah, I have a bunch of cool content coming out, a ton of cool content ideas as well. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll be able to see it in the little subscription area when you click on that when you're going into YouTube. And you will see all my pack openings I'll be doing, all of the finals I'll be joining with these cars, plus also the next video coming out, which will be my 10 most wanted cars from the new update. So stay tuned for that. I'm Yellowfin99. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this type of content, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that cool stuff. I'm Yellowfin. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.